President Trump's latest press conference has left everyone guessing, and today we're diving into what it could mean for the future of American politics. The question on everyone's mind, is Trump really stepping down? From viral clips to global reactions, here's everything you need to know about the press conference that has the nation talking. Donald Trump is stepping down. Or is he? President Trump commanded attention. His signature red tie stood out against his crisp suit. His confident stance radiated authority, and his trademark charisma filled the room. There was no mistaking that he was in complete control of the situation. Reporters leaned forward, eager to catch his every word, while the audience hung on to his expressions and gestures. And then came the line that immediately set off a storm of speculation. Big changes are coming, and I want to be very clear about my next steps. For anyone who has been following President Trump's political career, these words were unprecedented. Over the years, he has been known for bold statements, dramatic announcements, and unpredictable moves. But this time, there was an added layer of intrigue. Was President Trump hinting at an unexpected withdrawal from political life, or perhaps a strategic step back from certain responsibilities? Or was this simply another masterful maneuver to dominate headlines, ensure media coverage, and keep everyone guessing about his next move? Social media platforms exploded almost instantly after the press conference. Clips of President Trump's opening remarks were shared millions of times, while analysts and commentators debated the meaning behind every pause, every glance, and every carefully chosen word. The nation seemed to be holding its collective breath, trying to decipher whether President Trump was signaling the start of a major political shift or simply keeping his opponents and supporters on edge. Even before the press conference ended, headlines were being written, tweets were being shared, and talk shows were buzzing with speculation. One thing was clear: when President Trump speaks, the world listens. And this particular press conference, with its mix of suspense, mystery, and political weight, was no exception. It set the stage for a conversation that will dominate the news cycle for days, if not weeks, leaving the country asking the same question. Is President Trump really stepping down, or is this just the next chapter in a carefully crafted political play? Throughout the press conference, President Trump delivered statements that were equal parts cryptic and provocative, leaving both journalists and the public trying to decipher his true intentions. At one moment, he spoke proudly about the ongoing work of his allies and highlighted the accomplishments of his administration. He emphasized the economic growth, policy initiatives, and international deals that marked his time in office, framing them as undeniable successes that set him apart from other political figures. It was a reminder of his influence, his ability to shape national conversations, and the power he continues to hold within his party and among millions of supporters. Then, almost without warning, President Trump shifted tone, offering a statement that immediately set social media and news outlets ablaze. "I've achieved more than anyone ever thought possible, and sometimes knowing when to step back is just as important as knowing when to step forward." The remark was short, but it carried enormous implications. Was he hinting at stepping down from a leadership role in the Republican Party? Was he signaling that he might not run in the next election? Or was this a subtle way of keeping his political opponents and the media on high alert, forcing them to speculate and react to every move? The moment his words hit the airwaves, social media erupted. Clips of the press conference were shared, retweeted, and dissected by millions of users within minutes. Memes appeared almost instantly, humorously and seriously interpreting his remarks in countless ways. Political forums lit up with debates as people analyzed not just what he said, but how he said it, his pauses, his emphasis, his confident posture. Every gesture was scrutinized for hidden meaning, as if a small inflection might reveal the truth behind his cryptic statement. Political analysts quickly jumped into action, breaking down his words with laser focus. Some argued that this was classic Trump, using ambiguity strategically to keep everyone guessing and maintain control over the narrative. Others speculated that there might be more happening behind the scenes, decisions and discussions that the public would not see until weeks or months later. Whatever the case, one thing was undeniable. President Trump had once again captured the nation's attention. By the end of the press conference, journalists, analysts, and everyday Americans were left in a state of suspense. Whether it was a hint at stepping back, a strategic pause, or simply another headline-grabbing move, President Trump had achieved what he does best, making the country talk, debate, and watch closely for his next move. As the press conference went viral, reactions poured in from all corners: politicians, celebrities, media personalities, and everyday citizens alike. Social media feeds were flooded with commentary, speculation, and memes almost instantly. Supporters of President Trump praised his leadership, strategic thinking, and ability to dominate the narrative. Many interpreted his words as a masterclass in political strategy, a way to keep both his allies and opponents on their toes. "Only Trump can say something so shocking and keep everyone talking," tweeted one admirer, reflecting the widespread view that his press conference was yet another demonstration of his unique ability to capture national attention. On the other hand, critics expressed concern, confusion, and even alarm. Some questioned whether the cryptic statements could destabilize the Republican Party, creating uncertainty among voters and party officials alike. Others speculated about his motivations, wondering whether President Trump was laying the groundwork for an unexpected political maneuver, perhaps signaling negotiations or strategic alliances behind the scenes. Conservative commentators debated fiercely, suggesting that this might be a calculated move to strengthen his influence within the party or to test public reaction to possible shifts in leadership. Meanwhile, liberal analysts viewed the press conference through a different lens. Many saw it as an opening for new political strategies, an opportunity to capitalize on any perceived uncertainty or disruption in Republican politics. For these observers, every ambiguous statement by President Trump became a potential clue about the broader electoral landscape, a signal that could influence how campaigns, debates, and voter outreach were shaped in the coming months. The reach of the press conference extended far beyond the United States. Even international leaders and political analysts weighed in, underscoring how closely the world monitors every move of President Trump. From Beijing to London, experts dissected his gestures, tone, and phrasing, attempting to predict what his next step might be. News outlets across Europe, Asia, and the Middle East broadcast highlights and analysis, framing the press conference as a global event. For many, it served as a reminder that President Trump is not just a domestic figure. He is a political presence whose words and actions ripple worldwide. In short, the press conference ignited discussions everywhere, sparking debates, analysis, and speculation. President Trump had once again ensured that the spotlight was firmly on him, demonstrating his uncanny ability to control the narrative, influence discourse, and dominate attention on a national and global scale. Let's get down to what really matters. What did President Trump actually announce during this headline-grabbing press conference? Despite all the suspense, speculation, and viral social media chatter, there was no definitive statement indicating that President Trump is resigning from politics entirely. In classic fashion, he delivered his message with a blend of clarity and ambiguity, leaving just enough unsaid to keep the public and political commentators on edge. Instead of announcing a full exit, he focused on three main areas that clearly outline his priorities and intentions moving forward. First, future plans. President Trump hinted that he may scale back certain political activities in the near future, but he left the details deliberately vague. He spoke about stepping back in certain areas, while emphasizing the importance of letting other leaders within his circle rise to prominence. This message was subtle but strategic. It reassured supporters that his influence remains significant, while simultaneously suggesting a possible reshuffling of responsibilities within his political network. It left everyone questioning, was this a hint at semi-retirement, or a way to consolidate power without formally stepping down? Second, accomplishments. President Trump took the opportunity to highlight what he framed as the undeniable successes of his administration. He reminded the audience of economic growth, job creation, international trade deals, and key foreign policy victories. By doing this, he reinforced his legacy and reminded supporters and critics alike of the achievements that he believes distinguish his leadership. This part of the press conference wasn't just about looking back. It was about setting the stage for the future, showing that even if his political role changes, his influence and record remain highly relevant. Finally, voter engagement. President Trump emphasized the importance of staying active, both for his supporters and for the broader movement he represents. He made it clear that the next election cycle will be crucial, not only for him personally, but for the political landscape he has helped shape. By encouraging continued involvement, he ensured that his supporters remain mobilized and motivated, keeping his political base energized even amid speculation about his future plans. In short, President Trump didn't confirm that he is stepping down, but he delivered enough ambiguity to fuel debate and speculation for days, weeks, or even months. This careful balance of clarity and mystery is a hallmark of Trump's strategy. Keep people talking, guessing, and fully engaged. Whether he is stepping back or setting the stage for future maneuvers, one thing is certain. He has once again ensured that the nation's attention is squarely on him. So, what does all of this mean for the political landscape? Whether President Trump is truly considering stepping back or simply using the press conference to keep everyone guessing, one thing is crystal clear. He has successfully ensured that he remains the center of attention. The political world is now responding in real time. Opponents are forced to reassess strategies considering how to address the uncertainty surrounding Trump's next moves. Meanwhile, his supporters are energized, interpreting even the vaguest hints as signs of continued influence and strength. Across the nation, citizens, commentators, and political analysts alike are captivated, debating every gesture, phrase, and implication. For viewers, the takeaway is straightforward. We may not yet have a definitive answer about whether President Trump plans to step down from certain political roles, but we do know that he has once again demonstrated his unmatched ability to dominate the conversation. His timing, phrasing, and presence ensured that the press conference immediately became the most talked-about event of the day, sparking a wave of commentary, social media analysis, and news coverage that will continue for weeks. Every statement, however subtle, is being dissected for potential hidden meaning. The next few weeks, and likely months, promise even more speculation. We can expect follow-up statements, clarifications, and reactions from both Trump and those around him, all of which will fuel ongoing analysis and debate. Rumors will swirl, political pundits will offer interpretations, and social media users will continue to share memes, opinions, and predictions, keeping the story alive around the clock. In essence, the press conference has created a constant news cycle centered on one simple question. What is President Trump's next move? One thing is absolutely certain. The question, is Trump stepping down, is far from settled. His statements were intentionally ambiguous, a tactic that forces both supporters and critics to pay close attention, react, and speculate. Every move he makes will be scrutinized, debated, and amplified across the internet, ensuring that he remains a dominant force in political discourse. For now, all Americans, and indeed the world, can do is watch closely, listen intently, and prepare for whatever twist or surprise comes next in this ongoing political saga. The press conference may have left some questions unanswered, but it successfully reminded everyone that, in politics, President Trump always knows how to make sure the spotlight stays on him.